Welcome everyone, my name is Mike and this is Mike and the Magic, a YouTube channel dedicated to the magic of Disney vacations. Today's video, it's my first one, so we're going to talk a little bit about me, my background, and what to expect from this channel. So grab your Mickey ears, hit that subscribe button, and let's talk Disney. Alright, so I may look familiar to some of you guys, and that's because this channel used to exist before, but about 60 days ago, I made a major mistake with my Google account, and I deleted this channel in error. After fighting with Google, trying to get a resolution to get the channel back, I lost hope, I lost faith, and decided, why not just start over? So here we are. I decided to go ahead and start this channel from scratch. It's gonna be pretty much the same format, a little bit different in regards to I won't be vlogging on this channel. I just learned that vlogging in the parks is oversaturated. I cannot provide any more detail of the parks that's not already out there. And I want to do more about the planning side of Walt Disney World. So that way, when you're going on vacation with your family, you're not wasting your time or your money. So you may ask yourself, what makes you qualified to tell me how to plan my Disney vacation? So a little bit about me. My family and I, we went on our first Walt Disney World vacation back in May of 2017. Like many dads out there, I thought this was going to be a one and done trip, and I wanted to make sure I made the most of it. We were fortunate enough that we were gifted the trip from my mother-in-law, and she said she was going to pay for the parks, the hotels. All we had to pay for was the flights out there. Freaking score, right? So I told my wife, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, because not having to pay for the resorts or the tickets was a huge bonus. So we planned this vacation to a T. We talked about where we wanted to eat, what extras we wanted to do. My daughter did Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, which I absolutely loved. I mean, we planned this thing out. Now, to prepare for this trip, we decided we're going to go to YouTube. That YouTube is the second most popular search engine out there. And we discovered what they call Disney vloggers. Had no clue this was a genre on YouTube. It even crossed my mind that people would actually go to Walt Disney World more than one time. So we got sucked in. We learned everything we could about the parks. I think the first vlogger we watched was the Tim Tracker. I'm sure many of you guys have come across his content. Back then, he had subs around 200,000. I think he's approaching the 1 million sub mark if he hasn't crossed it already. Huge channel. Then we came across smaller channels such as Paige and Mr. Morrow. He was just getting his feet wet in vlogging. And a channel called Ears to You, which is no longer around and now only exists as Promise Hope. But we planned this trip for months. We got there, we had the time of our lives. And on the way home, I asked my wife, what are we going to do with our evenings now that we don't have to watch Disney vloggers? We were dumb to think that. We got home and we realized that this was the vacation destination for us. So we started immediately making plans to go back to Walt Disney World. Life threw us a massive wrench with that. Not 5 months after that trip, our then 5-year-old daughter, who we just taken on the trip of a lifetime to prepare for kindergarten, was diagnosed with cancer. Life's totally turned upside down. We knew that the chance of going to Disney World again was out the window, as we had to focus on saving our daughter's life and getting her healthy. So one day we were sitting in the hospital. She was honestly going through treatment, and one of the nurses talked to us and said, have y'all talked to Make-A-Wish? And we're like, Make-A-Wish, she's not terminal. They're expecting her to get through this. And she was like, no. Make-A-Wish is for kids who have diseases that could potentially take their lives, but not have to be terminal. Cancer is definitely one of those diseases. So I was thrown off with this. I had no clue. I did some more research and found out that's the case. Because I didn't want anything to do with Make-A-Wish, because in my mind, that meant she wasn't going to survive. Totally not the case at all with Make-A-Wish. So we started talking to our daughter about that, let her know that she is qualified for a wish, and start thinking about what she wanted to do. 5 years old, she knows nothing about Make-A-Wish, so we're telling her the options kids can do. We mentioned Walt Disney World, and she was like, no, we just got done doing that last year, don't want to do this. We talked about meeting the president because she had been studying about presidents in kindergarten. And she talked about going to Hawaii because at the time, her uncle and my brother-in-law was living in Hawaii. And so that's what we started focusing on. We were talking to other parents and we found out with Make-A-Wish, if you go to Walt Disney World, there's a place called Give Kids the World. And if you don't know what Give Kids the World is, it's a resort there in Kissimmee, Florida, about 15 miles from the parks, dedicated to kids who are on their Make-A-Wish trip. As most Make-A-Wish kids do not actually stay at the Disney resorts, but at Give Kids the World. This place is awesome. It's got the best of both Disney World and Universal Studios, as Imagineers and team members from Universal both have worked on this resort. The biggest bonus was kids who are there on a Make-A-Wish trip do not have to wait in lines. They have unlimited, at the time, what was called fast passes, now lightning lanes. When my daughter heard about this, her interest in going to Walt Disney World with Make-A-Wish totally turned around. So it was a possibility at this point now. So my daughter is going through her treatment. She gets granted her wish. She can pick whatever she wants to. So Make-A-Wish assigned us wish granters. And the way the process works, if you don't know, they come to your home, they talk to your child to find out what their one true wish is. And they have questionnaires to fill out. They have ways of talking to the kids to determine that wish to make sure it's not the parents' influence. So my daughter explained to her the Disney trip. She explained wanting to meet the president and wanting to go to Hawaii. And she also added in there she wanted to be a mermaid, as at the time, Ariel was her favorite Disney princess. So discussing the wish with the wish granters, we talked about Walt Disney World. And the reason for that is she can do almost all of those wishes in a Walt Disney World wish. And let me explain that a little bit. So Walt Disney World has a section in the Magic Kingdom called Liberty Square, where they have the Hall of Presidents. In the Hall of Presidents, they have animatronics of all the presidents in U.S. history. While it's not meeting the actual president, you get to see the presidential animatronic. Also in Walt Disney World, they have the Polynesian Resort, which is a Hawaii-themed resort. And then, of course, she can meet Ariel at the Magic Kingdom, as well as do the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique to be Ariel to become the mermaid. So we started looking at the Disney Wish, and she was very smart for a 5-year-old. You know, when you're, at this time she was 6 actually. When you've gone through something as big as cancer, you kind of grow up pretty quick. And so we weighed out the pros and cons. And one thing I kept coming back to was the chance to stay at Give Kids the World and to skip all the lines at Walt Disney World. She really liked that. So we weighed out the presidential option. I had done some research, and the kids who've been able to meet the president in the past maybe get 5-10 minutes max with the president, and the rest of the time's hanging out with presidential staff. So meeting the president wouldn't really be all that fun because it would be over with in just a matter of minutes. Going to Hawaii, while expensive, it's something mom and dad are fortunate enough with their jobs that they could pay for to do themselves. So it came back to Walt Disney World. And at the time, I didn't realize there was VIP experiences where you can pay to skip the lines. But, you know, Make-A-Wish, we'd have to worry about that. So from talking to the wish granters, talking to my daughter, Make-A-Wish decided that Walt Disney World would be her one true wish. And we got to go back. We went on this trip. We had an amazing time. The way Walt Disney World treats Make-A-Wish kids, top notch. It's just like the commercials. We had characters just coming up to us and giving her hugs. We had front of the line passes. We had cast members gifting us Mickey bars and waffles and you name it. It was an amazing trip, something that I will never forget and forever be grateful to Make-A-Wish and Walt Disney World for. We're hooked now. We're absolutely hooked. That was our second trip. Like I said, that's all we talked about. And we started saving for our next trip. Happened to be my wife and I's 10-year wedding anniversary. My daughter, again, at 6, 7 years old now, she has the mindset to know, hey, mom and dad, it's your anniversary. You guys have been so stressed with my health. You should go to Walt Disney World. And we went for our 10-year wedding anniversary. It was amazing. And of course, to pay back our daughter, we made good on that promise to go back to Hawaii. And we actually spent a day at Aulani while there so she can experience the magic of Disney in Hawaii during that week-long vacation. Absolutely worth it. So yeah, at this point in time, we're hooked. We love the Disney parks, we loved Aulani, and we were ready for a Disney Cruise Line. So in March 2020, yep, famous March of 2020, we went on a cruise. We got back from that cruise and the world has shut down. Wild experience to even think about 5 years later, but yeah, we were stuck on a Disney cruise when the world was shutting down, but it was an amazing time. So yeah, as you know by now, we're huge Disney fans. So we continued planning trips, and as the parks were beginning to open, we were trying to navigate when we were going to make our return. During this time, we didn't know all the effects of COVID and what they may have on my daughter, given her health history, but we still lived vicariously through the Disney vloggers. And we had some friends planning, and they kind of reached out to us because they knew that we knew a lot about Walt Disney World. And I did. I was able to plan an amazing trip for them. And my wife told me, you should become a travel agent specializing in Disney. And I was like, you're right. So that's exactly what I did. I reached out to an agency called Fantastical Vacations. These guys were amazing. They were a new travel agency coming on board during the pandemic. They kind of built their business up. At the time, they had about 25 agents. They took a chance on me. Forever grateful for that. And I've been with them ever since. So yeah, I have 8 years, hard to believe, 8 years of Disney experience. I've been to the parks well over 20 times. Never thought in a million years I would say I've been to Walt Disney World 20 times, but I have, and I've spent countless of hours in the parks, in the resorts, and learning the ins and outs of Walt Disney World. I truly believe outside of the cost negativity, any negative aspects of Walt Disney World you hear are a result of improper planning. So this channel, I hope to help you plan the perfect Disney vacation, tell you about all the latest Disney news, because honestly, if you haven't been in the last 4 years, you haven't been at all, because things have changed so much there since its reopening after the pandemic. It's hard to keep up, and I'm here to help you out with that and help keep you educated on what's going on at Walt Disney World. So the plan of the channel is to help you guys, like I said, plan the perfect Disney vacation. I'm going to come on here with Disney news. I'm going to talk about resorts, some of my favorites, some that may be off the beaten path. They're not really well talked about. We're going to talk about my favorite restaurants, my favorite activities, and everything I think that's super important to plan the perfect Disney vacation. And this is not going to include just the parks. This is going to include Disney Cruise Line, as well as Disney resorts such as Aulani out there in Hawaii. So as of now, there's not going to be any posting schedule for my videos. I'm going to focus on quality over quantity and only make videos that I think they're absolutely necessary and videos that I'm proud to put out there. My old channel, a lot of those videos, I felt rushed to post something and they weren't the best, and I never really liked that. That being said, there are a few videos that I did enjoy, and I'm actually going to repost those here so that you guys can watch them. I know one of them was very helpful and the most rewarding video that I ever made, and that is on how I overcame my fear of flying. So that'll be the next video you see on this channel. All right, I thank you so much for listening to me. You guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be very hands-on and try to answer each and every question that comes in, because I want to make sure you get the most out of your money on a Disney vacation. All right, I thank you for watching to the very end. Until the next video, make every day a Disney day. Bye.